I'm super excited to see you at the Dharte webinar and host for Why Do Diets Fail? The 3-day Metabolic Reset Program. We are going to talk about a science-backed strategies for sustainable weight loss. What we are going to cover today together is the pattern what every overweight person has in common, from world records to your clinic and to your home. So, why willpower always fails? What's the brain loop and what's really driving the hunger? We're going to talk about real stories. Stories of Amazohealth, Paul Mason, my patients. What do they reveal? The core discovery, one pattern that every case holds. I'll tell you the brain loop, that why do diets fail and what's the willpower also always fails. What's really driving the hunger? What I observed, the core discovery was, I observed one pattern in every single case, that the body perpetually believes that it is stressed, it is hungry, and starts storing fat. So there are 3 layers to it. First layer is what the body perceives. It perceives that it is starving, stressed, or is in danger. The second layer is the emotion that drives the food. Food becomes a primary neurological coping tool for exhaustion, stress, loneliness, and overwhelm. The third layer is delay until irreversible. So if you delay it until it becomes irreversible, it's going to be absolutely problem. Everyone waits for the body to escalate into disease like diabetes, PCOS, thyroid, paralysis, organ failures before even start acting. So have you heard of Emma? What was her biology and what was her pattern? She has a world record of the heaviest woman in the history, weighing 500 kgs. Emma Abdali from Egypt, who was widely recognized as the heaviest woman. Why did she face extreme weight gain? She was brought to Safi Hospital and a special lift was prepared for her. There were special doctors for her. The aircraft which brought her was also specially designed for her. When she was brought to Mumbai, Safi Hospital, geneticists conducted a comprehensive genome analysis and they studied 91 different genesis associated with obesity. And what they discovered, that she had a rare homogeneous missense mutation in the leptin receptor. Leptin plays a very important role in the weight management. Because of that, there was a satiety disconnection. She was never full. Her body never signaled that it's enough and kept on storing fat. Even when she was full, the body would never signal it. Because Emma's leptin receptors, docking stations in her brain, were completely defective, her brain never received that signal, and the perpetual starvation mode, her brain constantly perceived that the body was severely starving. So this actually complicated more factors. Her metabolic disorder was also compounded. She already had severe hypothyroidism from childhood. And at age 34, she suffered a massive stroke and she was paralyzed on the left side. And eventually, she became very immobile. That caused the weight to peak at an estimated of 500 kg. Emma's case actually represents the extreme end of a spectrum that includes millions of people with subtle versions of the same disruption, leptin resistance. That silences the brain from, stop eating signal. They never get that signal. And what's the lesson? So when the brain receives the wrong signal, no amount of willpower can override it. This intervention must be biological and it comes early. Next, we're going to talk about Paul Mason. Have you heard of him? Jonathan Mason, he is an Englishman, he's still living, still alive. And initially he weighed 442 kgs. That was also another world record. And Mason tried very hard to undergo a gastric bypass surgery. So in 2010, he succeeded and he lost an estimated 295 kgs. He holds a record to this day. He came down to 127 kgs right now, currently still alive, weighing 127 kgs. So, what changed and why he's still alive? He didn't start motivated. He started and then he became motivated. And the pattern doesn't wait for the world records, So you don't have to weigh 500 kg for your biology to be working against you. These are everyday patients. Let's talk about practical, real life case studies with what I have experienced. One of my patients who had hypothyroidism, he came to me in 2004. She also was suffering from obesity. Her TSH was normal. And this one is a glycoprotein tumor. And it's a marker to detect pancreatic, biliary, hepatocellular, gastrointestinal, urological, these type of, cancers. Typically not breast cancer. And CEA for breast cancer. Her reports seem to be normal. But what happened in the process was, she came to me in 2004. Currently, she is married, happy, settled, and her thyroid was normalized because I understood the pattern. What is the pattern behind it? Another patient of mine, Akanksha Malik, her TSH is also currently normal at 2.5 ml, microns per ml. But she is still continuing on her Thyronorm or Ultroxin 100 micrograms. She says she has had thyroid since 11 years. And currently, she is also trapped in the pattern of obesity, weight gain. She's watching her diet. She's doing everything she can do, but her weight is out of control. Currently, her hemoglobin is also low at 9.5. So whenever you get a metabolic disorder case or a chronic case or a weight gain case, we always check about how their biochemistry is. Her hemoglobin is low at 9.5 gram percentage. Her HDL is also low at 28.5, and her LDL, that's the low density lipoprotein, that is also 133.2 micrograms per milligram per deciliter. And her triglycerides are also 186. But her vitamin D was low at 27.8 nanograms per deciliter. Her urea is 17 milligram per deciliter, which is below normal, indicating that her body processes protein or fluids, confirming metabolic disorders. So what was the brain signal of the case of hypothyroidism? There was thyroid suppression, perpetual fatigue, and hunger. These are all metabolic cascade that covers diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and even if the normal TSH can mask subclinical dysfunction, it can address the whole system, not just the number. The metabolic storm before the stroke, before the paralysis. So the window is act now. So why willpower was never the answer? There are three reasons or three answers which I can give for that. So the first one is leptin resistance. Fat cells release leptin to signal fullness. When receptors are blunted from stress, poor sleep, inflammation, the brain never gets the message and hunger is permanent. The second reason is cortical stress eating. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol. This suppresses metabolism, elevates blood sugar, increases cravings for sugar and fat, and stores calories preferentially at the belly fat. And the third one, my dear friends, is metabolic adaptation. After repeated dieting, the body lowers its basic metabolic rate as a survival mechanism. You eat less, gain more. This is not weakness, it's biology defending itself. So what's APM? And why do I want to talk about APM now? Why now? Because I want you to awaken before it becomes irreversible, or you end up in a stroke or paralysis, organ failure, cancer. These are all not random. They are delayed consequences of untreated metabolic disorders. So what seems today like a slight weight gain, low energy, cravings, may become irreversible. Prevention is always better than cure. So it may become like in 6 to 12 months, it may become insulin resistance, may become a metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, PCOS, worsening. And in 1 to 3 years, you may end up in, say, cardiovascular disease, stroke, paralysis. So APM actually intercepts this timeline before the cascade begins. So what is APM and how does it help in weight loss? What is BBB, metabolic reset? What makes it different? So BBB stands for brain reset, biochemistry, and behavior reset. Brain reset, we use NLP techniques like timeline therapy, hypnosis, guided audios to bring the subconscious hunger loop and stress eating pattern at source. At the unconscious level, we break these patterns. Biochemistry, we identify and suggest targeted homeopathic integrative protocols that support leptin sensitivity, thyroid function, cortisol regulation, and metabolic rate. And the behavior stack is a 30-day habit stacking challenge, journaling framework, or variable integrated score trackings to build automatic healthy responses. There's no extreme dieting, no intense workouts, and it takes just less than 20 minutes daily. What do we use in the APM method? That's the Amazohealth protocol method. We use a timeline therapy and hypnosis as to break the patterns of the brain. We use guided visualization and regression to clear negative emotions from the past. It future paces the unconscious mind to new goal states without years of talk therapy. It identifies the root cause of deep-seated subconscious food behaviors. And these are like, 30 to 90 minute scripted sessions that reprograms behavior, especially effective after the biological pattern is identified. Now, what is clinical hypnosis? So there's a myth that, hypnosis is a mind control. You cannot be made against your core moral code of judgment. Hypnosis is basically a deep focused attention plus reduced peripheral awareness, heightened suggestibility. It quietens the ordinary mental chatter to alter behaviors, manage cravings, and reduce anxiety. It's also used at the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland clinics, and it's a science-backed psychological technique. Highly effective for stress eating, late night loops, emotional hunger patterns. And all this is delivered to you in the 3-day BBB program as an guided audio. Patterns can be broken. You just need to begin. Paul Mason didn't start motivated. He started and then became motivated. So your brain rewires after the first step, not before. And try out the 3-day BBB weight loss reset program and check it out yourself. Experience the guided audio tracks, the video, the suggestions, the biochemistry suggestions, and actually implementation, habit stacking challenge for 30 days, which is offered to you free away. And if you want a clarity call, the link is right there. My number is there, and you can start instant consultation with me. Absolutely get all your clarity completely free.
Health isn't about fitting into smaller clothes. It's about having the freedom to travel, laugh, play, explore, and truly flourish.